Okay, good morning, Art 1. Hopefully you all were able to successfully recreate a coloring book page using the grid drawing method. That was our practice. This one's gonna be more challenging because I am asking you guys to go ahead and try and draw a photo of yourself. So there are a few recommendations I'm going to make for this to make it a little bit easier for you. If you're very confident in your drawing skills, go ahead and do this however you wanna try it. But if you're someone who's more of a beginner, I have a few recommendations and I will put these in the notes on Google Classroom so you can look over them again. So I recommend you take a photo of yourself looking straight at the camera, not having your face angled one side to the other. When you're drawing a portrait, drawing someone that's looking straight at the camera is actually a little bit easier. So that's why I chose this picture of myself. I took this photo with my own camera, so you guys can just take your phone as long as you have one. If you don't have a phone camera, let me know. We could always just find a picture on Google of someone else, and you can do that for this assignment. And just snap a photo of yourself. You want good lighting. We don't really need filters or anything like that. You just want to be able to see your facial features really clearly. So don't do this in a dark room. Have nice, good lighting on your face. Maybe go by a window, have the window open so you can see everything really clearly. So that is step one. Remember, step two is that we need to edit the photo and we need to crop it so that it is a square. This is not something that I would have you guys do if I were in the classroom and I could help you a little bit more with, setting this up one-on-one, but since we're not together, we're doing this remotely, it just makes it a lot easier to apply a grid and then draw a grid that is the same ratio. So I'm just gonna ask you guys to go ahead and crop it so that it's a square, so that the height and the width are the same. And a lot of you missed that step on the last assignment, so don't miss this step. Again, I'll show you guys how to do this one more time just to make sure that you all understand. So you go to edit, you click on the little box with the arrows going around it, then you click on the squares, and everyone's might be different depending on what kind of phone. I'm using an iPad. And you click square. Now I can kind of move it around to get the picture lined up where I want it to be. I want my face in it, obviously, since this is a portrait, and then I click done. So I have my photo here, right? I'm going to open my internet browser and I'm going to search for my grid drawing tool. I've already been there before, so it's gonna come up really quickly, and I'm gonna get it uploaded. So choose my file, go to my photo library, camera roll, and there's my picture. It's the last one. Okay, so I've got my photo uploaded. It's a square. I can go ahead and skip all the way to step 5. We don't need to do anything else. We are going to do the same dimensions, 4 by 4. Okay. Maybe I want to do 5 by 5 actually, because that is a little bit large. I'm going to change my mind on that. I'm going to have you guys do 5 because I want it to break your face down a little bit more. It's going to make it a little bit easier for you to draw. Yeah, that's going to work better. So we're going to do 5 by 5. And again, I will put written instructions for all of this so you can read them again after you watch this video. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going down. I'm going to hit apply grid. Oh, I already did that. And then I'm going to download my image. So here it is. And I'm gonna save it. So now I have that image on my camera roll. All right, next steps. We need to make our grid paper. Remember, we have 2 different ways that we can do this. We can do this with a ruler, or we can do this by folding. Just whatever you have available. If you've got a ruler, I highly suggest you do it that way. If you don't have a ruler, then you're gonna fold. Now, we're just gonna do 1-inch increments again. So these are gonna be pretty small drawings, but I just wanna keep it, doable for you guys at home. I would show you how to enlarge it, and we could do 2-inch ones, but I don't know if everyone has 10 by 10 paper at home, so I don't wanna go out and tell you to do something that you don't have access to. So again, I'm gonna make measurements at every inch. So I wanna make sure I'm on the camera and you guys can see everything. So 1 inch, I'm gonna make a mark at inch 2. I'm gonna make a mark at inch 3, make a mark at inch 4, and make a mark at inch 5 because we know that we did a 5 by 5 grid. I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to do the same thing going along the other edge. Make a mark at inch 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, now I've got to draw my lines. Remember, you want to keep these as straight as possible. I am lucky that I have this T-square ruler. Really helps me. Don't press very hard because you want to, at the end, erase your grid lines. And we're actually going to do that for this portrait, so that'll be something I'll show you guys on Thursday. Okay. Oh, one more. Okay. I'm like barely putting any pressure, just dragging the pencil very lightly so it'll be nice and easy to get rid of this grid. All right, I got my grid. I can cut it out. Okay, so if you are using a ruler, that is your grid. If you are not using a ruler, just to remind you all, you take the corner of your page, you fold it over. We're not actually folding it, but we're just lining it up. And then we are going to make a mark right there. Find something straight. If we don't have a ruler, this is the no ruler example, because we need our paper to be square, right? Now you're gonna have a larger grid if you're not using a ruler. It's gonna be a little bit harder for me to fold it this time because I need 5. All right, let's see. I'm gonna fold it in half once. I'm gonna fold it in half again. And then I need to fold it in half one more time. So that's 3 times. Now, if you're using really thick paper, this might be a little bit challenging, but bear with me. All right, that gives us a lot, but we're gonna cut some off. Next, fold the other way. Fold it in half. Fold it in half again. And then fold it in half a 3rd time. So we're doing 3 folds each direction. Again, making sure that they're as straight as possible. So we only need 5 by 5, right? So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can make a mark right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make a mark right there. And I can go ahead and cut off those extra rows that I do not need. Okay, so I've got a 5 by 5 grid. I would draw in your lines like I showed you in the last video. So find something that has a straight edge and draw in the grid lines, because you really want to be able to see those pretty clearly when you're doing a grid drawing. You can use like at the edge of a folder, the edge of a book, anything that you have lying around your house that is straight. So I would go all the way across that way, then I would turn my page and I would do my grid going the other way. So then you start to have your drawn out grid squares, just like as if you had a ruler. This is gonna be one where you're gonna wanna put this underneath something heavy so you can flatten it out as much as possible and then you'll be ready to get started with drawing. Now I want to walk you guys through getting started on your grid drawing of your face. This is gonna be more challenging than the last one, so just do your best. I don't expect you guys to, be perfect at this your first time, but make an effort. And we'll see what you can do. Now again, we're gonna follow the same instructions that I told you last time. We are gonna draw this as if we were reading a book, okay? So we start in the top left corner, and in the top left corner, all I have is this bit of car seat. Now, maybe I don't wanna draw the background. Maybe I just wanna draw my face. I think that's what my choice is gonna be. I'm not gonna draw the car seat and stuff in the background of my picture. I'm gonna do something else in the background. So I have nothing in there that is part of my face. Maybe a little tiny bit of my hat. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to box 2. Oh, I gotta see a little bit more. All right, so my hat starts like right about here, and then it curves up almost to about the halfway point. And then there's nothing else. Box 3, the hat continues to curve. Nothing else. Box 4, it curves down right about into the corner. And then box 5 in this row, just the edge of my hat needs to be drawn in. Oh, you know what? I forgot to draw this edge in right here. Sometimes that'll happen. You just go back in and draw it. All right. Gonna just draw the edge of my hat right here. And I'm drawing pretty lightly because chances are I'm not gonna get this to look exactly the way I want it to look on my first try. So I wanna draw lightly, and then I can go ahead and correct it. Now we're gonna start in this row. We got a little bit of my hat. Okay. And I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit so you guys can kind of see this process. I might speed it up. So I would continue going. I have some erasing and some, this is definitely not looking exactly like that yet. I would need to do some corrections. Some things are, a little too dark. Some lines need to be fixed. But one thing that's really important when you're doing this type of drawing is that you are constantly looking back and forth between the photo and your paper. So don't stare at your paper for more than like 5 seconds at the most. Draw something, stop, and then look back at your photo. Because essentially what you're doing is your brain is kind of taking in the information, seeing what you're looking at, and then it's sending those messages to your hand. All right, we're gonna draw this curved shape. We're gonna draw this shape next. So it's really important that you are not just staring at your paper the whole time. You really have to go back and forth between your paper and looking at the picture. I would guess that it would take you guys at least an hour probably to do this entire drawing, erasing and fixing things when they're in the wrong spot or when they don't look correctly. So yeah, that's the assignment for this week. When you're done, take a photo of it. You can leave the grid on it for now. I'll give you instructions for taking the grid off on Thursday. So just take a picture of this and upload the photo that you drew from so I can kind of look at them and get a comparison. And that would be it. You'll upload that and you'll turn that in.